The Grand Canyon is one of the world's most beautiful sights. But as amazing as the beauty of the canyon is, there's something else that makes it truly special. There's an air of mystery that surrounds the canyon, leaving us wondering what secrets lie hidden within its walls. And, well, we're not the only ones. This discovery might just change everything you've ever known about this natural wonder and the secrets it uncovered about the Grand Canyon. But before we get into that, we have to backtrack a little. The Grand Canyon has been considered sacred ground for Native American tribes since time immemorial. 11 distinct indigenous peoples, including Havasupai, Hopi, Paiute, Navajo, and Zuni, have visited and lived in or around the area of the Grand Canyon for centuries. For these tribes, the Grand Canyon is not just a beautiful national park, it's deeply ingrained in both their creation stories and religious beliefs. The Havasupai, who have lived in and around the canyon for centuries, consider it to be a gateway to heaven or hell. The concept of heaven and hell in Havasupai belief is slightly different from the traditional Judeo-Christian concept. They believe that heaven is a place of eternal happiness and joy, where people live in harmony with one another and nature. In contrast, the tribe's concept of hell is a place of great suffering and punishment, where the wicked are sent to atone for their sins. To Havasupai belief, the souls of the deceased must pass through the canyon to reach their final destination. For the tribe, the Grand Canyon is more than just a physical location, it's a spiritual place where the past and present meet. The canyon's geological features and stunning vistas are an essential part of their beliefs and traditions, playing a crucial role in their cultural identity. This natural wonder is truly a marvel, but it didn't happen overnight. In fact, it took millions of years of erosion and geological activity to create the masterpiece we see today. The story of the Grand Canyon actually begins around 5 million years ago when a natural dam filled with sediment created a lake in what is now northern Arizona. As the lake drained, the Colorado River began to cut through the rock, carving out the canyon we know and love today. This process is known as erosion, a powerful force that can create some of the most beautiful natural landscapes in the world. But erosion isn't the only factor that shaped the Grand Canyon. Wind and water have also played important roles in creating the intricate network of canyons, gullies, and other features that make up this breathtaking landscape. Over time, the forces of nature have created a place of unrivaled beauty and complexity, a true testament to the power of nature. It's believed that all of this happened far before any humans existed in the area, so all of it was guided by nature alone. But what if that wasn't true? We've always had a pretty solid idea of when humans first appeared on the scene, but everything has changed. Footprints found at White Sands National Park have shown that humans may have been in America much earlier than we thought. This is huge news because it could mean that humans were living in the area as early as 23,000 years ago, that's 10,000 years earlier than the world previously believed. This one little detail changes everything we thought we knew about our own history. Some experts think this could be evidence of the earliest humans to venture into the New World. If that's true, it means we've been here longer than we ever could have imagined. Of course, this discovery is causing quite a stir in the archaeological community. While it's not definitive proof of early human presence in the Americas, it certainly adds some major fuel to the fire. Another researcher, Cyprian Ardelin, thought that humans were present in North America as early as 30,000 years ago. Ardelin even called this discovery the holy grail of anthropology and archaeology, and it's not hard to see why. The footprints found at White Sands National Park are a game-changer. They're the first tangible evidence we have of a much earlier human presence in the Americas than we previously believed. But the thing is, this awe-inspiring natural wonder might just have over 1 billion years of history behind it. Scientists recently dug deeper into this history by using thermochronology, a method that tracks the history of heat and rock. What they found was crazy. First, the researchers collected samples of rock from different parts of the canyon. Then they discovered that the western and eastern halves of the canyon might have gone through different geological contortions over time. This could be linked to the breakup of a landmass called Rodinia, which started to split up 700 million years ago. The researchers concluded that the fracturing of Rodinia might have impacted the Grand Canyon in different ways, creating what is now called the Great Unconformity. This strange gap in Earth's rock record has puzzled geologists for years. It's found all over the globe but is most visible at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, where 500-million-year-old Paleozoic sandstone directly overlies 1.4 to 1.8-billion-year-old Proterozoic Vishnu schist. But don't worry, researchers from the University of Colorado Boulder have been working hard to solve this geological mystery. According to a study recently published in the journal Geology, the missing time period in geological history may be due to a series of earthquakes that occurred during the breakup of Rodinia. The earthquakes would have caused rocks and sediment to wash away into the ocean, creating the gap we see today. The Grand Canyon is like a history textbook, according to lead author Bara Peak. It's a window into the past, allowing us to see the secrets that have been hidden away for billions of years. And with this latest study, we may be one step closer to understanding the complex events that shaped our planet and its inhabitants. And we're not just talking about the tribes here. We're talking about people that were there when no one suspected it. Explorer G. Kincaid was a man obsessed with the canyon. He was devastated when he heard that it would soon be closed off to visitors, but instead of wallowing in despair, he decided to have one last hurrah and go on a boat ride down the Colorado River. As he made his way down the river, Kincaid had a plan to search for precious minerals like gold, silver, and copper. But little did he know, fate had something far more exciting in store for him. After sailing for about 40 miles, he spotted something peculiar, strange stains in the sediment formation that towered over 2,000 feet high. This was not something he had ever seen in the area before. Naturally, Kincaid's curiosity was piqued, and he decided to investigate. So, he stopped his boat and set out on foot, even though there was no trail to follow. As he hiked, he soon stumbled upon an incredible discovery: hundreds of steps carved into the sandstone, leading up to a high shelf on the side of the canyon. What was even more amazing was that these steps led to an entrance that was clearly man-made. But here's where things get even crazier. The entrance led to a hidden passage covered in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. Yes, you read that right, in the Grand Canyon of all places. Kincaid was understandably stunned. People had never existed in that part of the canyon, so how could there be hieroglyphics? And what was the purpose of this hidden passage? Just like anyone else would be at that point, he was eager to find out. So, he stepped inside with his flashlight. He found that the tunnel stretched out far into the distance, and Kincaid had a feeling that this was only the beginning of a much bigger discovery. As he made his way deeper into the passage, Kincaid couldn't believe his eyes. He saw intricate carvings, artifacts, and treasures that were centuries old. It was as if he had stepped back in time. The explorer realized that he had stumbled upon something truly extraordinary, an ancient passage that had been hidden for centuries, and he was determined to uncover all of its mysteries. Joe Rogan recently talked about it in his podcast. Long before anyone ever knew about the Grand Canyon, someone was living right beneath it. Kincaid realized that he had stumbled upon an entire underground city. The main passageway was around 12 feet wide, while some of the rooms were as big as 30 by 40 feet square. But that wasn't the most impressive part. The walls were around 3 feet and 6 inches thick. Kincaid was standing in an engineering marvel, a feat that he couldn't comprehend. He had no idea how it was possible to construct something like this. As he explored further, Kincaid found several granaries with shelves, some of which still contained seeds, as well as cooking areas and a huge dining hall. Now, as if finding an underground city isn't impressive enough, this place was on a whole other level. The rooms were as big as 30 by 40 feet square, with ceilings that converged to a center. And get this, the walls were around 3 feet and 6 inches thick. The rooms were full of all kinds of artifacts, including metal tools made out of copper, a technology that shouldn't have existed in this area, not at the point in history all of this seemed to be from anyway. He literally couldn't believe what he was seeing. Realizing the importance of his discovery, Kincaid named it the Citadel and sent artifacts and notes to the Smithsonian, asking for financial and logistical support. The Smithsonian agreed, and Professor S.A. Jordan arrived soon after with a team of 40 scientists, researchers, and laborers to help with the excavation and exploration. It soon became clear that the cave system had been expertly designed in a symmetrical layout. It wasn't just a random set of rooms and tunnels, but an organized space with clear engineering intent. This brings us to the key question: who built it? There are many possible explanations. Some believe it could have been built by the ancestral Puebloans, who are known to have lived in the Four Corners region over 1,000 years ago. Others think it could have been an earlier culture that predates the Puebloans. There is even speculation that the citadel could have been constructed by a civilization from another part of the world, such as the Egyptians or the Phoenicians, who may have traveled to the Americas long before Columbus. Unfortunately, all these incredible discoveries were reportedly locked away in the Smithsonian's archives, and the public has never had access to the full story. The institution allegedly kept Kincaid's findings a closely guarded secret, possibly due to the ramifications of such a discovery. If the Smithsonian were to acknowledge that ancient civilizations had once lived in the Grand Canyon, it would completely rewrite history as we know it. It would challenge everything we've been taught about the timeline of human migration and development. To this day, the Citadel remains one of the greatest mysteries of the Grand Canyon. While some people dismiss the story as a hoax, others believe there's enough evidence to suggest that Kincaid's discovery was real, and that the Smithsonian may be covering it up. Regardless of what you believe, one thing is clear: the Grand Canyon is a place of incredible beauty, history, and mystery, and there's still so much we don't know about this natural wonder. Who knows what other secrets might be waiting to be uncovered in the depths of the canyon?